Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T-103. It's a Tier 8 Soviet premium turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the east spawn of Paris under the command of Citron01. And alongside him is, in the T-92, is Zaka1, his platoon mate for this game. Well, this is supposed to be the Tier 8 version of the box tank, the Su-100Y. They did make a box tank from a T-100 tank, but only one, and yeah, they didn't decide to produce any more. This is supposed to be the Tier 8 version. It was designed and created as blueprint, but never actually put into action. And well, it would have been interesting if it had been, because it's got a 13cm gun as its main armament and pretty tough armor on the turret. Well, Citron01 is hovering on this corner at the moment. Oh, he spotted someone. Sit poke out to get a shot, and he gets a hit. The alpha is 440, so that was a high roll. The reload time is actually fairly good at the moment. Oh, he didn't get that one in though. Standard reload is 10.74 seconds. Citron01's got 9.05, and that's fairly good compared to the box tank, which I believe is slightly longer. Now, it doesn't have very good armor on the hull, even though technically the hull is a T100 heavy tank. Nice shot into the T55, overwhelmed with that huge round, capable of doing 258mm of armor. Pumps another one in. 3 marks of excellence showing on the barrel. Yeah, and the T55 is out the game. Okay, now we've got a shot. No shot to the center. There is an enemy tank, an ELC 790 up there, but instead he actually puts out the Progetto 54, so he's got his first kill. There's ELC. Actually, he's behind that concrete area there, and I think he's just around the corner. We can't get shots on him, but we can get shots on this guy. Ah, but we don't get the kill. The kill was actually stolen by a Skoda T50. Now, you wouldn't expect a tank destroyer to be leading from the front, but that's precisely what he's doing, mainly because this gun is just so powerful. And now he's got a shot on that ELC, but instead he's ignoring that and going on because there's some enemy heavies over here. Might want to use the terrain to your advantage here, use that against the IS-3, but he's going up, pumps one in, 389. Now, there is enemy Arty, and we're hearing the rumble of our enemy Arty. I'm not sure if the shells are going in our direction. Puts another one into the turret of the IS-3 too. 504, that's a high roll. Go for it again. He's easily going through the turret, and oh, the IS-3 too bounces around on the IS-3, on the T-103 rather. Go for it again. This time he's going for the hull, and he takes the kill. But yeah, the Arty is firing in this direction. We just got clobbered by an 8-inch shell from an M53, M55, but it didn't pen. Ah, no, that one didn't work. And yes, he's still taking damage from that Marbreaker, who's now firing HE at us. Go for it again. Yep. Got a low roll there for 410. And he's moving on because the Marbreaker is pulling away as fast as he can. And he gets a kill shot. So that's his 4th kill of the game. Okay, pushing on. We've got a Char Future 4. I think he's an AFK actually. And now he's, yeah, that's a high roll, 468. It's everybody take as much as you can. Harvest that one. And another hit, a high roll. And he's out the game. Oh, the enemy's being slaughtered. There's only one enemy left, and it's that 212A, or A212A, and he just got killed, so this game is over. A very brief one, but a victory. That was an ace tanker game for Citron01 in the T-103. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. He got a demolition expert because he blew one of his enemy opponents apart, as well as getting a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him during the game. A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4. and 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. He racked up so much damage in that game. He actually got the high caliber as well. Just going to show what that 13cm gun really can do in the right circumstances. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage he managed to get in this one was 6,348 hit points of damage. The second highest damage in the game actually turned out to be the Skoda T56 with 1,954, and the third highest damage was the Charfuture 4 on their team with 1,631. There was only one casualty, and sadly, it was Zaka1. Yeah, unfortunately, he got killed after just taking a couple of hits on the enemy, and he was wiped out fairly early on. But if we look at the number of kills, we can see that Citron managed to get 4 kills in that game. Highest scorer, Charfuture 4 got 2, and the rest of 5 got 1 or nothing. And in fact, only one member of the enemy team actually managed to get a kill, and it was Leopard Prototype on their team who got 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, yeah, 1,877, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. Citron01, 1,877, nice ace tanker. 828 went to the Skoda, and 696 to the LT432. You can see that he's so far above all the other teammates. He was really outperforming with that T-103. But then again, if in the right circumstances, it does work, because even though it does have a weak hull, it's a very strong turret. And that gun is very, very good. Loads fairly quickly. It's got a high alpha, so it's very effective on enemy vehicles. Let's have a look at detail. 15 shots fired, 14 direct hits on the enemy, and 13 penetrations. Damage of 6,348 hit points, of which 482 were at more than 300 meters. He received 5 hits from the enemy, but only one of them actually penetrated, and 1 non-penetration, 3 hits by way of splash as well. 390 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, 1,260 hit points of damage assistance. Now, he earned 120,575 credits from the game, 50,000 from personal missions payout, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, took away 179,047 credits, and that's not bad for a 4 minutes 11 seconds battle. In fact, considering how much you actually earn in a frontline, that's much better. And I think I'd rather have 10 battles 10 battles in this tank lasting 4 minutes and generating that sort of money than generating a tenth of that from one battle in frontline, even though frontline can be more exciting. 1,877 XP times 2 for the first victory, 986 from tactical training, 282 from premium, because after all it is one that you actually buy, this one. 422 for playing in a platoon, took away 7,322 experience points altogether. I think you can see why he has 3 marks of excellence on the barrel, Citron01. Yeah, he likes this tank destroyer and he plays it very aggressively. It's not technically an assault tank destroyer, it's not got the armor for it. Well, the turret does, but the hull doesn't. We can see that right now. And that's the wrong page. That's the right page. Let's have a look at it. Oh, there you go. Okay, well, looking at it straight away, you'd say that turret is incredibly tough. And if we go to the live model, you can see the hull is fairly weak because you've got a lower plate that's only 45 millimeters, an upper plate that's 45 millimeters. You've got a weak spot there for the driver. You've got these 2 domes, or these 2 turrets, mini turrets on top of the body, Marvel like Daleks. They're only 60 millimeters, so those are weak spots. Anything really from the turret downwards is a weak spot. But the turret itself is incredibly strong, and considering this tank only has, if I remember correctly, it's only 8 degrees of gun depression. Am I wrong or am I right? It looks like it's 8 degrees of gun depression. We can check that by looking at the stats. Yes, it is 8 degrees of gun depression. And so this thing is pretty good on ridge lines, and you only have to poke the turret over the edge of the ridge line to get the shots on the enemy. And if they do fire back, there's a good chance they're going to hit heavy armor. It'll either bounce off the sides here, but if it hits this area here, even with impacted armor of 220 coming up to 280, yeah, they're not likely to get through. The weak spot really is this cupola on top of the turret for the commander. In fact, that might be the commander ones, or it might be the gunners one. We'll have to see that in the modules and find out. But we'll just look at the sides. Well, the sides of this vehicle are 100 millimeters all the way along. So yes, it's going to be fairly tough to get through that, especially if you're in a tier 8 game and it's tier 6 tanks in it. They might have difficulty trying to take on this tank, but at the rear it's 60 millimeters, rear of the turret it's 60 millimeters. So yes, you can penetrate it from the rear. The weak spot I think is that engine cover there, which is 30 millimeters, but then that's for Arty to penetrate. So very tough on armor. If we look at the modules, we can see driver sitting up front on his own in the center. In the center of the vehicle at the bottom, there's a big ammo rack down below. 2 fuel tanks either side of that, sandwiching it. Up in the turret, we've got the commander. On the tank commander is with that little turret on the left-hand side. He's got the radio as well, so he's the radio operator. And the gunner is actually on the right-hand side. There's 2 loaders. You can see them standing up there in the turret basket. And there's a huge ammo rack in the back of the turret in the bustle. So, yeah, there's fairly good weak spots there. You can see that in the actual hull, if you aim for the hull area and you can punch through 100 millimeters, just below the rear of the turret, you can see that, yes, there's 2 big, huge ammo racks either side, and that will be a good target to aim for. Either that will go for the bustle. And you can see at the back, we've got the engine, not sandwiched by fuel tanks this time, and a transmission behind, although of course you've got those tracks actually protecting the engine to a certain degree. Yes, I think there's plenty of spots you can aim for if you're trying to make this thing go bang. So a great little game by Citron01. We've got some more coming up. Yes, he's actually sent in more replays, and in fact we can have some double features as well, because he's actually sent in more than one for the same tank or a different tank each time. So we'll get some rather interesting games in different tanks. If you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.